Muslim, Christian, Jew, Hindu, Buddhist, and atheist one too, and all in between. This is for the absolute positive, good God and truth of your lives, only crossing to an absolute bigger, better here and now. If you've seen anything that I have posted or any videos I've released, you will see that I state that if the sun doesn't shine more positive and protonic than anything negatively neutronic about the earth, no life as we know it to the reality check of mankind can exist or keep existing. At one time, the earth was a true sister reflection of the Son of God with pyramids all over all. And everywhere there was a pyramid, there was a God King. And Adam of the Holy Bible was the creator and the God King of this megalithic world. And 1/3 of the God Kings, which are the fallen angels, they rebelled with faith. And Shiva shafted the earth, okay? They snaked the earth and made it less than what was more positive and good as truth with the faith of them. Adam woke up in the garden and he couldn't get his bearings on reality check, and he was presented with Eve, and Eve came from the Shiva shafting lineage of reality check that had snaked the earth, and Adam was eons and eons old. And that's why when he woke up, he was fully grown, and he knew he was created good as truth, never to be destroyed, but he couldn't get his bearings on reality. And from every side of him, at all sides of him, he's seen Eve, and he took on the fruit of faith through Eve because she didn't know what was good as truth. Not that she was bad, evil, or sinful. She just had no knowledge of it. It was an enlightened knowledge that he shared with the God Kings, and every realm that was enlightened, right, knew to only do more positive than negative for it. But when the earth was he shafted, all of these God Kings were destroyed, and the peoples of them were no more. And the only hospitable place on earth was the garden. Now, this negative Samuel spirit, right, in the flesh is Shiva shafting the world. It's Yada Baoth, and it's Yahweh. It's any god that you can think of, right, that for some reason or another, right, would have their children shafting each other, either conquering them, making life inhospitable for them, through unevolved faith. And I'll explain later on in this video what I'm talking about. Well, I can explain to you right now. If you believe that for God and country, right, that you're a child of God, but it's okay to conquer other people's, to incarcerate, not detain. You can always detain a fool, but to incarcerate people, right? To biasly do anything but state these people more positive and good as truth through your God and through your belief, right, of faith, right? Well, that's no good as truth, and that's not the God of you. You're not a child of God acting that way. You're the spawn of the devil. And because Adam couldn't get his bearings on reality check, right, this Shiva shafting God, this Jewish gyp Yahweh of faith, right, he lived 930 years, right? And the world was inhospitable to him anywhere that the garden wasn't, because, like I said, the world had been he shafted by the snake god devil, and Adam had been manipulated by him once he woke up and couldn't get his bearings on reality. See, if you don't know what's more positive, right, good as the truth of God of your shape, form, and mass, right, then how can you ever be it? All you have is faith. And this faith teaches that things cross bad, evil, and sinful. And it's always a negative articulation to what is good as truth. Everything in existence is made of atom matter evolved, okay? Now, I don't care if it's one atom or a mountain of atoms. If this atom matter evolved is stated more positive than negative, right? Good as the truth of God of its shape, form, and mass, it can't be destroyed, okay? Inside each of these atoms are protons and neutrons, and on the outside of the atoms is the electron field. The protons is 2 up quarks, 1 down quark, and they are the Holy Spirit of the good truth of God of every shape, form, and mass expressed. Wherever it's expressed more positive and protonic, it is stated good as truth and can't be destroyed. Now, the neutron isn't bad, evil, or sinful. It's just negative of a proton. It's one nothing of its own protonic energy to keep it stabilized, good as truth. It's negative of a proton always, and it's the soul and the matter of you. And without this proton overwhelming anything negatively neutronic, more positive than it, right, to solidify any matter that it's stating good as truth, and then negative of the neutron nothing, it's always in a state of radioactive decay and disintegration in body of whatever matter it's stating. And anything that isn't you on the outside of your body puts off its own energy, and depending on your polarity, whether it's more positive protonic or whether it's more negatively neutronic, right, is depending on how you're absorbing this energy to the here and now of your reality check, okay? Now, on the outside of an atom, right, the neutron is always in a state of radioactive decay and disintegration, not being overwhelmed, more positive and protonic always. And in a neutron star, it pulsates and flickers, and it turns into a pulsar, and eventually it's a black hole abyss on the matter of it, just infinitely negative, one nothing of it here and now. And this is what you do with your body when you crisscross with faith. Just like Shiva shafted the world, he snaked the world, and he snaked the atom, men, and matter of it, right? Being more positive, good as the truth of God of us. Every time you take on faith, right, and you cross with faith, it's always less than what is good as truth, only doing more positive than the negatives of you, okay? And in reality check, it snakes the matter of you. It's a snake of negative energy, because it's always negative to what is good as truth, right? Even though all faith has positive variables, right? No faith only teaches to only cross more positive than negative always. So no faith is good as truth. And when you crisscross with this faith, right, it's a snake on the neutron, and it can't sustain its negative energy. It's matter more positive always to keep you good as truth. And this snake of negative energy is negative with negativity, and it is the incarnate she, he, shafting devil of all things, people, places, and things to cross negative with negativity. And what you do is, over a volume of time and extremes, hallucinating that the world around you is crisscross bad, evil, and sinful, right? Your matter ages out, decays, disintegrates, and dies to one nothing of you here and now, just infinitely negative of you here and now. A black hole abyss on your life to death, right? With the negative devilish hells of you infinitely forevermore. Everywhere on earth, right, it's not stated more positive than negative. It's only stated with faith. Negative to what is more positive always to keep you good as truth. No faith is good as truth. And anywhere this faith is stated through the governance of us, right, which is around the world, right, it's a negative articulation always. It's always a biased articulation to what is good as truth. If it wasn't that way, that's all Adam and Eve would have been for their faith, and that's all the world would be for the faith of it. But in reality check, no faith is good as truth. And wherever it's stated around the world, right, and things aren't more positive than negative, it's because of the faith of fools if it's articulated by a man or a woman, blind leading blind fools. And when our leadership, our governance, our judgment, and our prosecutors are biased with faith, right, it's the convicts, conflicts, raping, robbing, murdering, thieving victims and crooks of all people, places, and things. It's the wars, jails, and prisons of all people, places, and things that haven't been crossed back only one more positive to bring them back to a good way as truth by the bigger and better of the leadership always. In reality check, if you plug a plug into the wall, right, the positive has to overwhelm anything negative about that plug, or you either potentially burn your house down or won't have enough energy to sustain. But as long as it does, as long as it overwhelms anything negative about that plug, there's a zero chance you can burn your house down or won't have enough energy to sustain it. And it's the same with your body. As long as you cross more positive than negative always, right, it sustains and solidifies your matter good as truth here and now. And it's the absolute bigger, better here and now of you alive and well, as a predictor of your future state of being. You are half male and you are half female. You are half protons and you are half neutrons. Only cross more male, positive, and protonic than any female, negative, neutronic matter about you. The only way you can always add up, stay, or be good is truth, only to an absolute bigger, better here and now of you through reality check. Jesus was a man and is a man who has stated one more positive than all negativity, right? That was the good truth of God of Jesus Christ, okay? They put him on the cross, and the thief believed he bonded more positive than any faithful, foolish negativity between them, right? And they stowed their lives back from that fool of faith that crisscrossed negative with negativity to one nothing, and all those fools of faith that put him on the cross, okay? The thief was the one that rode back the tomb for Jesus, sent him on his rightful, truthful way. Mary, seen the feast shining more positive than negative, asked where Jesus went. She said he went that way. She gave him a kiss and called him an angel, and that's how that story goes. The state of one more positive than negative, to state that way always, is the only light, joy, warmth, good God or truth, holy with spirit, all will ever know or be. It's the only state that all in body and matter, atom matter evolved is stated good to the truth of God, their shape, form, and mass, only crossing to an absolute bigger, better here and now of reality check. And if it's a man or a woman, it's alive and well. The state of one more positive than negative is the only state that all prayers are answered in, all miracles happen in, all dreams come true in, and it's the only heavenly abode and paradise you will ever know or be in. Where two or more atoms cross and bond, one more positive than negative, right? They make the good truth of God of every shape, form, and mass you can think of, not to exclude every dimension of time and space you can think of, and every shape, form, and mass of the God of Allah of all for everlasting peace I am, the absolute good God and truth of Jesus Christ of all I am, with a thieving Holy Spirit out of all mankind's negativity to one neutral nothing I absolutely positively am, the 3 times male, full thief man, God King, King Adamus, the bonding Adam man evolved of all I am.